So welcome, Rockstar presenters, to your call with the one and only Jericho McMatthews. I have some really excited people here to see you today, Jericho. Last month, my team did a call with Joel, and I thought that being I have a mostly female team, that nothing would top having Joel. And I have to tell you, don't tell him, but like the excitement for the time with you has just blown Joel out of the water. Like, you are the it girl. My team is so excited to spend some time with you today. So thank you so much for offering that up with us. And we're just going to get right to the meat of it, because I don't want to take too much of your time. But what I had in my team do is just submit questions. So pretty much everything today is coming straight from them. And as you can see from all of these smiling, beautiful faces, a lot of women on my team. I'd say 99% of my team is women. And I would say out of that, probably 97% are moms. And that, I would say probably 75% are fitness instructors as well, and group X trainers. So you're kind of speaking to your tribe and your people here today. And so with that, we're just going to get rolling with the first question, which is where? Essentially, here we go. Could you just share a little bit about your story and how you came to create Core to Force? Obviously, your background was somewhere else. So when did this idea come to you and Joel?
If Bex was here with me, he'd go, hi. Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the call, and happy holidays. I cannot believe we're already in December and just a couple weeks from Christmas. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are running around doing the same stuff that we're doing all week. We're actually getting ready to head to Sweden. My husband's from Sweden, so we go there for Christmas almost every year. But yeah, to share a little bit about my background, I got into working in the fitness industry a little bit by accident. So I went to school to study psychology. I studied in Santa Barbara and majored in psychology. And during college, and actually right when I started school, I had started teaching group fitness classes. I was a part of an all-women's health club. And my background was dance. So I grew up dancing a lot, playing a lot of sports. So I was always, very active and athletic. But this gym owner approached me and asked if I was interested in teaching a hip hop class. And at that time I laugh about it now, but I was an arena football league dancer. So I danced in an arena football team. And so I said, absolutely, I love that. And so I started teaching hip hop, and then the Les Mills programs made their way to our gym. And I decided to get certified to teach these different formats. And went away to school because I was there in community college at the time, went away to Santa Barbara and continued teaching, got into personal training, and picked up phys ed and kinesiology as a minor, and just really fell in love with it and fell in love with the work that I was doing, outside of school, and decided, instead of pursuing a master's, to jump into an opportunity to become an international master trainer for Les Mills. So, hi kids. I love all the kids I'm seeing. Hi guys. Is it lunchtime or breakfast time there? So yeah, it was really awesome because I love traveling and I love adventure, and that's what, Les Mills gave me a lot of opportunities to learn a lot about myself, traveling all over, working, mainly in the US, but I did a lot of international travel as well, and presented at a lot of different conventions, and it was really awesome and fun. And I'd moved to New York with my husband. He's from Sweden, like I said. So we met. He worked for Les Mills in Scandinavia and came to the States in 2005. So we met at a convention, and I was really lucky enough to to do a lot of work with him, and we work really well together. So we got to teach a lot of classes together and train a lot of instructors together. And in 2010, we moved back to California. We were living in New York for, I think, 4.5 years. And around that time, Beachbody decided to join forces with Les Mills, which is the company I was working with, and to create this home workout program, Les Mills Pump. So some of you guys were maybe around when Les Mills Pump came out. That was 4 or 5 years ago. And I had a lot of fun doing that. We were a huge cast of, I think, 12 or 13. And I'd met Joel before then, just at different workshops. He taught classes for Les Mills. He was an instructor in Washington. So I would see him at workshops when I'd go up and present. And then, like we always run into the same people on our circuit. So we got to work a lot more together whenever we filmed Les Mills Pump. And then eventually he moved to Los Angeles. So when Beachbody would start having Super Saturdays and all of the trainers, except for Joel and I, we were the only local ones, that were kind of near California, at least, they'd pull us in to do podcasts and, things at Beachbody headquarters, because naturally we were close and we were the easiest to choose. And so I'd like to say that we were really special, but I think at that point we were just really lucky to live close. And, but we were local, and a lot of the trainers were outside of the US. So when it came time to do Super Saturdays, we traveled a lot, and we're the ones that got to see and meet a lot of you guys and work. And so it was really fun. And we presented a lot of combat. I think there's a big misconception that Joel and I were the trainers behind Les Mills Combat. And it wasn't us, but we were the ones representing it here in the US. So Body Combat is one of the formats that I trained and presented in Les Mills. It was my number one format. So I did a lot of work for that program. But we weren't in Les Mills Combat. So the relationship dissolved, a few years ago, and they decided to not, partner up anymore and do any more programs, and it was all right. But we were bummed, of course, because we love working with Beachbody. And at that time, Joel was working full-time for Gold's Gym. I'm sure he told you guys the story. And I was still with Les Mills doing a lot of work. And but I was coming to a place in my career where I was really hoping for a new challenge. And also I had just found out I was pregnant. So my husband and I, we conceived on our wedding night. It was not expected, and we weren't trying, but it happened. And so it was like, bam, oh my gosh, our life is getting ready to really change. And we were both traveling so much. And at that time I was traveling a lot more than him, and 2-3 weekends a month. So that was something immediately that I knew I wanted to change. And I wanted to be able to, be home more often. So it really was like the stars aligned, and it sort of fell in my lap. Joel and I started hearing from Beachbody, and we got on some conference calls with Carl and the guys. And so my jump to Beachbody happened probably halfway through my pregnancy. And then we started getting into talks about developing Core to Force. So my son Bexton wasn't even born yet, and we were developing the program. So it was a really crazy year. We were living in Orange County, which is just south of LA. So we moved. My husband started working for Beachbody. So he's also, his background in group fitness, they really wanted to pull him in to really help the live department. And so he's been enjoying working on that and heading up the education. So writing a lot of the content for the workshops and helping the master trainers grow and develop. It's been a really fun process, but very chaotic, if I'm going to be honest. It's been the most crazy year and a half of my life, but really fun and adventurous. So that's where we are. And we're actually, we've been in Venice Beach. We moved from Mid-City to Playa del Rey, which is right near LAX, but it's closer to Santa Monica because the traffic in LA is crazy. It's crazy. Like we were only 7 miles from the offices, but it would take an hour to get home. So we're in the middle of a move, and we're always on the go. So we're heading to Sweden for the holidays, and everything's great. It's busy, but it's great.
Awesome. Thank you. And just to give her credit, that came from Meg, who I think is right above you. So that came from
Meg. Oh, hey, Meg.
And honestly, this wasn't where I was going to go next, but this is kind of a great transition. We got a lot of questions from moms out there that want to chat mom stuff. So let me kind of go to that, starting with a question from both Erin and Tracy. Had the question, what advice do you have for new moms who are trying to get their pre-baby body back? How did you get exercise post-baby?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and I do get this question a lot. And obviously as moms, fitness professionals, and we love working out. And for me personally, I was with Les Mills professionally for a solid decade. I was teaching longer than that, but working as a presenter and trainer, also doing a lot of work for Reebok. So pre-baby, pre-pregnancy, it was so, I just want to say it was, I don't ever want to say it's so easy, but it was so easy. I mean, come on, like the time that you have on your hands, and You can plan more easily. I mean, just as a mom, stuff comes up all the time and your priorities are completely different. So, for me before, it was like I'd get a photo shoot or know that I needed to film something and I could dial in and really stick to my schedule with workouts and my nutrition and all of that, and hit a certain body fat that I wanted to get or a certain leanness. And to be quite honest, that was not as easy, of course, coming out of pregnancy and a C-section unexpectedly. I ended up with a C-section. And I had to jump right into creating content for Beachbody On Demand and for obviously Core to Force. And my first workout after being cleared by my doctor to work out, I knew that I couldn't jump right into the workouts I was doing, the intensity that I was doing them. But I jumped into, I really love doing short HIIT workouts because too, also for as a new mom, they're very effective and you don't have a whole lot of time. So I jumped into one of my kind of go-to 25, 30-minute HIIT routines. And I felt nauseous. I cried at the end. And it was more than like, oh my gosh, this is painful, I'm so unfit. It was just the realization of, wow, I have a long way to go. And I don't remember feeling that ever. Because I've never dealt with being that deconditioned. Thankfully, I never had any kind of injury that set me back. So it was a big aha moment because it reminded me this is what new people feel like. This is what people that are new to fitness, this is what they experience. And it was kind of like, wow, it was a very enlightening moment. And but I stuck with it, obviously, and was exercising just about every day. But listening to my body, breastfeeding was a really big thing for me. I thankfully was able to successfully breastfeed right away. My schedule got a lot more demanding as we got into developing the program, testing the workouts, doing 2 test groups a day. So for me personally, I would say, I'm not the norm in that I had to jump right in and really get challenged and juggle so much. So, but a lot of moms are, right? We're always juggling a lot. I remember at the 3-month mark, I thought, dang, it's so hard to go back to work. And I was bringing Bex to the office with me. And when I didn't have him with me, I had my pump on my shoulder, pumping every 3 hours. So it's a lot. The bottom line, what I'm trying to get to is be patient and remember to be patient with the progress and have self-love and appreciation for what your body just went through. I think so many moms just are so, like, oh my God, I got to get back to into my old jeans and I have to get my body back right away. And your reality is completely different. So I would like to spread the message of loving yourself a little more, being patient, and it's all good. Our body has to go through a lot in pregnancy, and it takes some time to get back to the way we were before. And maybe you're never going to look exactly the same. We might have a stretch mark here or there, or, your hips might be a little wider. Embrace it. We're moms. That's what we go through. And I think we get a pretty cool consolation prize at the end with our, with our kids. So, yeah.
That one came from Erin, who's a mama to 5 boys.
That's amazing. And I give it up to you, Erin. I don't see you on my screen here, but you are amazing. You have 5 kids. I only have 1. And there you are, right in the middle. I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. So
working full time, and she just is totally rocking. So really,
you are a rock star.
Yeah. And so April, kind of just a really quick follow-up question, just to kind of add to that. I know I've got 4, and I had 3 C-sections, and I know that the core, 3 out of the 4 were C-sections, and I know that the core, it is hard to kind of get that back. So April, who actually just had a little one just a couple months ago, and that was her second, is wondering, do you feel like your core is recovered entirely, and how did you kind of balance getting that back?
Yeah. So, who asked the question? Can you wait?
April. And
hi, April.
There she is.
Yes. So what's really amazing about Core to Force, obviously, is this program is all the movements are based on rotational movement and working from a strong core. So, absolutely, especially with C-sections, and that's something that, again, that's one of the reasons I cried. I remember how long it took just, I'm sitting on a couch right now, and I remember having to have my husband put his hand behind my back and help me sit up, or grab my knee. And, assist myself in sitting up. It's challenging, really challenging to get your core strength back. But again, it's patience and just diligence. So yes, absolutely. I think everyone is a little bit different. Some women experience more separation in their six pack and the linea alba stretching, the diastasis recti. So again, that's something that you would have to get assessed with your doctor. But if you work hard, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen in 30 days necessarily. Core de Force is a 30-day program. So it's definitely depends on the person. And, I do other training outside of Core de Force. I mix up my workouts. I did a lot more focus. I focused a lot more on my core when we were developing the program, and did a lot of, variations of planks and functional strength training that you guys see in 5-minute core on the floor and our core kinetics workouts. So yeah, I think you can get your core strength back. Absolutely.
Thank you. One last mama question, and that comes from our mom of twins up here, Amber. She wants to give a wave.
Hi. Oh, they are twins. I'm a twin too. A little known fact. I have an identical twin named Jill.
That's so cool. Congrats. Very identical too. And she had the question for you. Amber, part of her story is her comeback from some pretty severe PPD. And so she's wondering if you have any experience with the healing powers of exercise on mental and emotional health, and if you personally faced any baby blues or any kind of mental struggles after having the baby.
Yeah, well, while I don't think that I could say I had any kind of postpartum depression, I will absolutely attest to the fact that, exercise is our best medicine, in my opinion. I mean, we need certain things to help us through different things in life, but absolutely, it just makes you feel better. And I think a lot of people too that have experienced Core de Force are finding the, obviously not just the physical results, but the sense of confidence and empowerment and happiness. You sleep better. There are all kinds of, non-scale victories, but I think absolutely, for me at least, getting back into it, I had a whole new reality, and just back to my experience, of course, my teammate Joel, him and I have had very different realities going into creating this program. Me as a brand new mom with a move, those big major life events, like we moved, both my husband and I started new jobs and we became new parents. So it was just a lot all at once. And I definitely had meltdowns, you guys. I had meltdowns creating this program on really hard days where my schedule was so insane. And I was sitting in an hour of traffic with my son in the car seat in the back crying, because who likes to sit in traffic? It's like he would fall asleep if we were hitting bumps or on the freeway going 70, but it was crazy. And I had moments where I questioned myself, like, should I have said yes to this? This is crazy. It's hard. It's challenging. And I think everyone goes through their moments, right? Raise your hand if you've had a meltdown as a brand new mom, right? We all have. So, and I still have them. So Bex is 17 months. He's almost 18 months. And so not quite into the terrible twos yet, but I don't know what is going on with him, but he's going through something funky, and I'm still breastfeeding. So I've been trying to wean him, and I swear I'm like, maybe that's what he knows, that I'm working on weaning him. So he's asking for it more. And he just started saying boobies, you guys. And he comes at me with the milk sign and he goes, booby, booby, in public. So that's nice and embarrassing. But, yeah, he's throwing little tantrums and stuff. So what we do as moms, I think we're like superheroes, bottom line. And we've all been there. So baby blues, yes. Hard days at work, trying to balance everything. I think we can do it all, but we're not going to be perfect at anything. But who can be perfect, right? What is perfect? So do your best. I do my best. And I think offering each other love and support is so helpful. I see a lot of mom shaming and all this. It's we're all doing the best we can, and our job is phenomenal. So I say just keep doing you. If you miss your workout, don't beat yourself up. You know, if you need to prioritize and you can't get it done, and that's the thing, just do our best. Do your best, and we'll do our best, and give each other some support along the way.
Thank you. I love that. So moving on and talking a little bit about core to force more specifically, get your mom pressure off. those are tough questions. I get that. So,
no, it's all good. I could ramble. I could go on for days about it, right? I mean, it's
easy to talk about because we love our kiddos, huh?
Yeah.
No, so there are some really super program specific questions that I wanted to go over. Coming from Brenda, who loved combat. Brenda's actually right next to you.
Brenda. Hey.
She's wondering, why no gloves in core to force? She said.
Great question. So let me go back to, you guys know Les Mills Combat was based on the group fitness program Body Combat. And Body Combat has gone through tons of transformation through the years. When I started teaching the program, Dan and Rach weren't even the choreographers for it. So they didn't invent the program. Another couple called Gabby and Nathaniel did. And it was back closer to, around the year 2000-ish, when the program came out in New Zealand. And it looked a lot more like if you look back, and if you were interested in Googling it or YouTubing it, the other programs that were really hot then is like Taibo and stuff that looked a little more dancey in the world of cardio kickboxing. So the technique that you see now in the program was a lot more looked a little bit like TKB, where, it's a little shimmy and a little more dancey. And from an instructor point of view, wearing hand wraps or gloves on your hands was a great way to help your participants or the people in front of you to see your hands, because you have a color on your hands. It's also kind of gives the feel of what the genre is, right? It's a kickboxing, boxing inspired program. So instructors went all out and would dress themselves. There was a phase with Body Combat where at one point, Dan and Rach were wearing gis, with belts. And it was very, I don't want to say costumey, but a little bit themey. So, but that was one of the main reasons why they would wear wraps or gloves, is because it helped people see the direction and the lines of your hands when you were moving through different punches and ranges of motion. They don't serve any purpose whatsoever when you're punching the air. So as you know, if you were to go into a boxing club and you wanted to hit focus mitts with a trainer, or if you're going to hit a heavy bag, you wrap your hands with wraps, and then you put on heavy gloves or bag gloves if you're going to hit bags or mitts. And that's to protect your wrists when you're making impact with something, or you're going to hit another person and spar. But if you're hitting the air, it literally makes no difference whatsoever. And then when it comes to weighted gloves, the combat gloves weren't weighted, but some other programs sometimes will have weighted gloves or wrist weights on. And that is a tool that is used sometimes in the boxing world. They call it heavy hands, and it's to work on your technique and your range of motion. This is slow punching the air. If you're going to speed it up and go really fast and fully extend your arms, it actually can become very dangerous if you're not trained professionally to know how to do this without injuring yourself. So that can lead to a lot of elbow and shoulder problems. And that's another reason we definitely do not recommend you adding any kind of wrist weights or holding onto hand weights or wearing weighted gloves with this program, because for one thing, it wasn't designed for that. The type of moves that we do, plus, you're punching on the spot and then you're on a spike and you're dropped down and you're hitting the floor doing Spider-Man climbers. So you need full range of motion, full wrist mobility, full use of your fingers when you're going down on the floor, and you need to balance in a plank position or whatever it might be. So two main reasons. We designed the program to not use any equipment at all for maximum results. It's a major safety issue. But yes, if you were interested in doing a little bit of outside training and doing something different, and you wanted to wear some kind of weighted glove or hold on to weights, you really need to slow it down, and then definitely not fully extend, because the moment you fully extend and you're holding onto a weight, the weight wants to keep going, right? And your joint doesn't know how to stop. So definitely a big safety thing. If you had weight gloves and you feel cool wearing them, or if you had a pair of light MMA gloves, and you weren't going down on the floor, I'd say, go for it. If it makes, if you feel cool, or if it gives you a better awareness of your grip and your boxing guard. But since we're going down and up in the program, I think definitely it's better to just leave them in the drawer.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I love that. So coming from Jill.
That's my sister's name. Hi, Jill.
She says, in Court of Force MMA workouts, we're not always switching fight stances. Was that intentional, and should someone doing the program be switching? And that's a
great question. And that's actually something we're working on right now. And we're kind of testing a couple versions of for the live format. I know a lot of you guys are group fitness instructors. We're working on the live format. So here's kind of where we are coming from, and the reason why we decided to stay on one stance in the program. It's a 30-day program, and we change the workouts so quickly, and the moves that you're doing are they're so new to so many people. It takes just a few minutes to get the muscle memory down. It takes it takes a while to get it down. So what we wanted to do is have people find their dominant stance, just like you would if you're, surfing or skateboarding or snowboarding. You're either regular or you're goofy. So standing in your dominant stance, you have the ability to work harder. You have the ability to get your heart rate up more and punch and kick more effectively. Since it's core rotational, all the moves are really coming from your core. But anytime there was a move that's more muscle dominant, like a lunge, or if it's more a fitness-based move, we definitely have you switch sides. If you want to, after 30 days of the program, if you're feeling like, hey, I want to mix things up and challenge myself more, you're going to feel a little bit more like this, switching your stance because it's your non-dominant side. I say go for it. There's no rule saying you can't switch sides. The majority of the population is right-handed, and what we call in the boxing MMA world, you're in a traditional or an orthodox stance, which means your left foot is forward. And the reason for that is your knockout punches coming from your dominant hand is in the back, your right arm. So the reason we filmed in Southpaw is so that we could mirror the majority of the population who are in an orthodox stance. But it doesn't mean if you want to switch sides that you're not allowed to or you shouldn't. It's totally up to you. It just means in 30 days, we move so quickly. We want you to feel successful getting the moves down to your dominant stance first. And you can absolutely, if you're feeling like it, switch sides. But that's why, for best results, we want you to feel confident in at least your dominant stance to start.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
This is a really great question, again, from April, and that's, who is to blame for the evil that is Sphinx blasters?
Both of us, I would say. Yeah, this is not a well-known tricep move, but yeah, it's a challenging tricep push-up variation. So I will say that in our live test groups, no one could do them the first week. So that everyone knows, if you're feeling unsuccessful doing this move, you are so not alone. This is probably the most challenging body weight exercise we threw in to the workouts. So they just take time and practice. And I think the plank walk up is a good option. But if you feel like that's not challenging enough, or there's somewhere in between you could go, just stick with regular modified tricep push-ups. So stacking your wrists right beneath your shoulders, elbows into your ribs, pointing straight back, and drop your chest to the ground. Down and up, and then progress yourself to your toes, doing tricep push-ups on your toes, and that will really get you ready for the tricep or the Sphinx blasters.
I have to add to that I feel really dumb doing the Superman punch. I cannot do that without laughing at myself. So
it feels really, really good when you get it, though.
Yeah, every once in a while I pop one up and I'm like, oh, I did it.
There it was.
Right back to like, what is that?
Here's a little tip on that one, Amanda. So whatever your lead leg is, so let's just say it's your left foot stepping forward, think about loading your punch, which is coming from the back arm and the back leg. So your knee is lifting up as you're lifting your arm. So your back leg is actually loading the power that's getting ready to come from the punch, because you're throwing the punch and you're kicking your rear leg at the same time.
So
That helps.
it is so,
Or you could just
I'm gonna,
watch the Learn It and Work It 500 times.
right. Okay, so we're gonna because I only asked for 30 minutes of your time and we're at 30 minutes, we're gonna do 2 really quick fun questions.
No problem.
Michaela wants to know, and I saw her on here. Michaela, are you still here? Yeah, there she is. She wants to know, do you do or like any other Beachbody programs?
Great question. For me, gosh, I'm not I'm going to be honest. I'm not a workout in my living room girl. I'm just not. Coming from the group fitness world, I love being in a group of people if I can. I mean, I'm not saying I never work out alone. I absolutely do. But I like to get out. I like to mix it up, and I love to get in different studios. I like to dance. I like CrossFit. I like HIIT training. I like doing my own workouts outdoors on the beach. So with really great music. So for me, my favorite way to work out, or I'd say my least favorite way to work out, is actually watching a screen. Is that okay to say? But what I love about this job that I have is it's been such a cool challenge for me because I came from the group fitness world and teaching live in front of different people. It's been so cool to get in front of, but also scary and challenging. You guys, we filmed to a totally quiet set and I'm staring at a red dot on a camera, trying to transcend the same experience and see faces just like yours that I see in front of me right now. And moms and dads and teenagers and my mom and like my aunts or my grandmas, and what they want out of the workout. So that's been a really fun experience. But for me, and I could do it from time to time, but yeah, it's not my favorite way to work out. I'd say size. I've done a little bit of size. I like doing the live versions. P90X. I don't know if you guys have tried P90X live. It's a really amazing format. Anyone teach it? Anyone teach any of the live formats on here? Oh yeah, Alicia does. Cool. Yeah, and a couple of you guys. So yeah, I like the live. That's my favorite. But absolutely.
Your boss or your husband is my master trainer.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I have a
That's so crazy. That's awesome. Well, we have a meeting with Carl today to talk a little bit more about Core to Force Live. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, we are right in the middle of starting to create. We've got some test versions, and I'll tell you what, like right off the bat, what you guys have done, a lot of you guys have, hopefully all of you have done some Core to Force, and it's challenging. You get a lot done in a short amount of time. And of course, with live, we are tasked with creating a 55-minute format because, of course, most group fitness group fitness managers and gyms want an hour-long format to put, hey, you're going to do Core to Force from 9 to 10 on the schedule, and or a 45-minute or a 30-minute option. So we're playing around with the formula right now, but coming up with some really awesome, challenging, versions of the program. And right off the bat, the first one was we had to dial it way back because imagine doing, I don't know, MMA, plyo or power, the 12-round workout, 5 minutes, you're going the full 55. So we had to scale it back just a tad. So having fun with it.
I'm excited. It's been a while since
I'm excited for you guys to experience it.
Yeah, us too. Well, thank you so much, Jericho. I don't want to keep you any longer because I know you're a busy mama. But if we could just give Jericho a round of applause. Thank you so much for giving of your time. We appreciate it so much. And more than anything, you won me over at Summit when you were talking about,
I think I've got an unstable connection going on.
Well, am I unstable too, guys? Well, anyways, you won me over.
Okay. No, I just got a little message on my screen that said unstable connection. Can you guys hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I didn't really go into detail, but I said we've been living in Venice Beach for 2 months. So we moved, but the place that we moved is new construction. And the day before we got into our place, we found out there was a permit issue because of all the droughts in California. They are now required to repurpose rainwater into your sprinkler system. And so anyway, we didn't know about all that. And we've been living in a vacation rental in Venice Beach, which has been a very fun adventure, but it's got a very bad internet Wi-Fi signal. So my apologies if I froze halfway through that.
Thank you. No, we appreciate you so much, and your authenticity and your realness is very fresh and very much appreciated. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for everyone for being on. I see how many of you are on now at 11 Central Standard Time on a Tuesday, by the way. So no more, oh, I can't be on because it's during the day. It's at 11. I teach, I do this, I work. Oh, bullshit. You just can't be on because it's not always Jericho. So I see you. Aww. That's all I have to say. I see you. Love you guys so much. Merry Christmas.
Thank you guys so much for being on the call.
Bye.
I hope you have awesome holidays.